another day, maybe two.
Hey Cindy, Jackie's on Zoom today.
Oh, okay, thank you. You need another one?
Cities, well, I think, see if I can scratch one more.
Do you have a pen? Oh, he's got,
Let's see.
got a pen or is that a pencil, buddy?
Like me. I'd dry out after that trip. They sent me in.
Should we try to leave it open?
I like to try a ringtone on my phone. This Amy
Must come in.
Winehouse.
A little sign out there.
I don't want to.
I forget to take it off, so everyone thinks it was in progress
I
sometimes.
got our other two of them.
And then Duffy, who was another English
No,
singer,
he's
was, I just sent it down. I think he has a pencil.
Might be priced.
Oh, is that a pen? Is it a pen? Oh, it looks like one of those, one of those fancy
God, these are tough.
Drafting pencils.
designer guy pencils, you know. Her name was Duffy, and she also was
I watched
a wonderful
the
singer.
meeting when they
Came about the same time as
Bandit.
Amy, but she had some terrible things happen to her. She dropped out.
She's alive, right?
She's alive.
Yeah.
Very, very trouble.
Well, that's why they're such good singers or.
Yeah.
And then my neighbor. He wasn't the city administrator. He was like a head engineer for the city of Belleville.
Call to order a regular city council meeting for February 13th, 2024. Please join me for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Welcome, everyone. Roll call, Cindy.
Honorable Mayor Grover,
Present.
Councilmember Overhauser,
Yes.
Councilmember Schmidt,
President.
Councilmember Bartels,
Present.
Councilmember Belak,
Present.
Councilmember Nazaro, Councilmember Labar, and Councilmember Postuma.
Present.
Thank you. Full house today. Good. Okay, let's move on. Citizen comments. This is an opportunity for the public to comment, make comment to our council. Did have Corinna Donnerberg come on up, signed up to speak.
My name is Corinna Donnerberg and I live in Cheney. I'd like to provide a content warning about my comment tonight as I will be addressing themes of suicide. I speak tonight as a mental health professional, but also as someone personally impacted by suicide. In 2020, my cousin died by suicide in the context of an encounter with law enforcement. I'm responding to a January 24th post by the Cheney Police Department Facebook page, providing information about an incident that same day involving a suicidal young person who was armed. To be clear, I'm very thankful that CPD officers and other law enforcement partners were able to secure a peaceful surrender and that no one was harmed. I appreciate that mental health crises involving weapons are volatile and traumatic for everyone involved. Additionally, I understand the importance of informing the public when there's an active danger to the community and when that danger has been resolved. My concern is about the level of detail that was shared in the Facebook post, including the young person's name. While I understand that when a person is taken into custody and charged, that name becomes a matter of public record, I do not understand the benefit of proactively publishing their name, especially for a department for whom compassion is a top 3 value based on a recent rebrand. Did the department consider how broadcasting his name on social media might impact a suicidal young person? What about his family? What about other community members experiencing suicidal ideation? Did releasing his name make anyone safer? The CPD Media Relations Policy, policy number 344, requires daily record keeping of significant law enforcement activities that can be made available upon request to the media, but does not require broadcasting identifying details that have no bearing on safety. My hope is that we as a community can shift the conversation from the heroism of officers in the face of an individual in crisis, without regards to the ongoing well-being of that individual, to the resources, supports, programming, and funding necessary to proactively treat and serve folks with mental health needs so that others don't end up in similar situations. Next time, everyone might not walk away unharmed. Steve Anderson didn't.
Thank you, Corinna. Didn't have anybody else sign up, but this is an opportunity for anybody to comment to our council. Anybody else in the crowd here or on, that's joining us virtually? Anybody? Okay, let's move on. Item E is the minutes from our January 23rd meeting. Haven't had an opportunity to review those. If there's no corrections, I'd entertain a motion to approve them.
So moved. Second.
Okay, motion and a second to approve our January 23rd city council meeting minutes. All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you. Our minutes are approved. Vouchers, Cindy, and payroll.
Thank you, Your Honor. I do have a couple corrections to what's posted on the agenda. The 2023 voucher total is $630,906.47, which includes the expenditure approval of $589,382.48, plus some annual warrants of $41,523.99. The 2024 voucher total is actually $601,939.17, which includes the expenditure approval of $461,627.78, plus some annual warrants of $140,311.39. The total payroll for January was $1,195,506.88.
Thank you, Cindy.
Your Honor, if there are no questions on the vouchers, I would move for the approval of the 2023 vouchers.
Second.
Thank you. I have a motion and a second to approve the 2023 vouchers. Any questions?
I do.
Yes,
I have a
go ahead.
question. Cindy, just really quick,
Mhm.
I wanted to call you today, but I didn't get a chance. The control freak for 20,473, can you tell me what that was?
I'll look at Todd. Tis.
That one is part of the, on the ARPA funds, and I can't remember what it's called, but it is replacing all of our MCCs throughout our water department, all wells, all booster stations. So we're working through that process. It's basically the MCC upgrades.
Okay, great. And it looks like we got the new garbage truck.
Yes, we did. We
Ah.
actually took delivery on the garbage truck, and it's here. It's being inspected by Peterbilt right now, and then it's going to be shifted over to solid waste systems for the actual box inspection. And once all that's done, they verify the warranty and we'll get it back and we'll put it in service as soon as we can.
Sounds great. Thanks.
Thanks, Mark. Any other comments, questions? We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed?
And
Thank
Your
you.
Honor,
2023 vouchers approved. Go ahead.
and Your Honor, I would also move for approval of the 2024 vouchers and payroll.
Second.
Thank you. I have a motion and a second to approve the 2024 vouchers as presented, as corrected, and payroll. Any comments, questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
Thank you, Cindy. 2023 vouchers and 2024 vouchers and payroll approved. We do have a claim for damages from Tristan Bolter.
Your Honor, the Finance Committee discussed this, and we would move that it be sent to our insurance carrier for review.
Second that motion.
Thank you. I have a motion and a second to forward the claims for damages submitted to our insurance carrier. All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you. We'll go ahead and forward that on to WCIA. Item H is small contracts. There's 4 small contracts that I signed, all for our rec program. We are bolstering up that rec program for sure. Itemized and information item. This is just some options for our aquatic facility construction. Mr. Abelman.
All right, let me see if I can get this one going. Are you able to share? Do I open up the thing or just sure? Yep, I got it. Yep. You do have a copy at the dais, and there's a few extra copies here on the report. So wanted to give you kind of just a quick report on the aquatics facility, where we're at today, and then discuss kind of an option that we've been researching over the past month or so. And that is involving what type of pool that we want, either concrete or what we had been presented as a stainless steel option. So me dive right into that. The timeline, obviously the schematic design was completed in December, design development completed in January. The construction drawings, we're anticipating a 50% completion this week. We do have a conditional use hearing scheduled for March 5th. As you well know, that is on an R1 property, and anytime we have that condition, that pool was originally conditional use to operate as a parks facility, so we have to take it back for a conditional use. Anticipating the construction drawing, 85% in March 15th. Obviously, the building permit would be pulled before March 15th. That's kind of a decision point when we switch codes. So we've been designing under this code series. Construction drawings, April 15th for 100% and out to bid May 1st. Notice to proceed in June, giving us 1 full year with the anticipation opening date summer of 2025. The key features, obviously there's 2 tanks. As we take a look at the site, there's 2 tanks. There's basically what we call a recreational pool. And then we have on a second tank is a lap pool. We have a 5,000 square foot pool house, which includes a 500 square foot community room. The aquatics amenities are basically a water slide, basketball hoop, climbing wall, and what they call an aqua zip. And an aqua zip is basically just this hanger over a pool that gives a feeling if you were to grab a rope and swing from a tree and jump in like a lake, it gives that same impression. Those were the high priorities when we did our study. So we wanted to make sure that whatever we put kind of in the study, in the bond, that we focus on those amenities. Xeriscape. We talked a lot about, whether we want to turn all the amenities around the pool back to lawn. So we've come up with more of a conservation type thing, and you'll see that there may be some proposals as far as, xeriscaping. Basically, we're looking at any type of, lead type facilities. So we're going to propose xeriscape and basically Xscapes for all the site around. So taking about half of that Hagelin Park into consideration will no longer be irrigated. The north half will still be irrigated, but that's kind of what we're looking at. Amongst trails, walkways, and kind of getting the whole idea of what this is, an aquatics facility with a theme of kind of cozy cabin is what the theme is. It's a lodge. And so if we were to visit this aquatics facility, it would be feeling like you went to a lake resort. We have some things in there that would be similar. So if you're unable to go to a lake resort, you come to the Cheney Aquatics facility, you can spend the day and it feels like you're at the lake. You'll see a lot of those amenities in there. The other thing that we looked at is the regenerative media pool filtration. It is probably one of the top of the line filtrations other than sand filtration for room wise. So here is an overview. I know it's fairly small in there, but in there, as you can see, if I can kind of point out here, get your bearings. This lower part, this is Cedar Street. And in this area on that lower part is where the existing pool house set. And where this pool is where the pool was kind of originally located in that area. The double tank, this is a recreational pool down here. This is a lap pool. North 8th Street is on this side. Here is the new building. And on this side, this is the mechanical. In between the mechanical and where you enter into the pool will be the locker rooms, the entrance to the pool. And then on the end will be the community room. The whole site is pretty much hardscaped. Even this was originally looking at a lawn, but we're looking at something different other than lawn. But it's a kind of a site where you can sit and lay around. And we also want to kind of propose like cabanas that we feel that maybe some people want to have parties or just reserve a cabana at the pool. Up here, this is the slide, and I'm just going to we'll have the next slide. We'll kind of dive into it. But on the right side here, this is North 7th, and North 7th doesn't have any connection. Parks are owned by both sides of it. So what we're doing is looking at proposing to basically close this street and look at it as a parking or one-way facility. This thing keeps blacking out on us, so bear with me. So a lot of the parking will come in this area. We reached out to the school district. As you know, Betts Elementary will not be open during the summertime. They have plenty of parking, overload parking when you visit the facility. Over on this side, my mouse is really slow here. Over on the North 8th side right here, you see that crosshatched? That is the main entrance to the pool, and what we want is a drop-off area. So we kind of have this the stadium where people can drop off and go right in the pool to that end. So we took a look at how we bring people to the pool, how we circulate. These are kind of good renderings. So if I was to actually be up in the air on North 7th Street, kind of looking to the west, that's kind of the layout that you would see. You kind of see the interior of the pool facility, both tanks and how the slide would look. Now, right now, the slide shows what they call a double slide. We have a single slide put in there, but we do have some alternatives if we move around, if we do have some savings to put in that second slide. Give you a concept if we were looking kind of where the pool house is and looking towards the kind of the tennis courts there, how that would be put in place. And feel free to ask any questions along the way.
So
Go
can we,
yeah.
like, can you go back one? Is it a problem to do that?
Maybe. Well, maybe. There we go.
Okay, well, maybe it's further back, but anyway, on the roof, I saw were those solar panels or were those, oh, cool.
Those are solar panels. They're really not in the budget. Like I said,
Right.
we have some savings. They are, we do have them planned.
Good.
We did the design to allow the extra weight of solar panels on them.
Excellent.
So what we're doing right now is trying to find every grant conservation that we can pull together to pay for these amenities.
Yeah, I just couldn't tell if they were solar panels or lights, skylights. So that's why I was, thanks.
Length of the.
25 yard lateral. Sorry, not kidding.
I got a quick one. Can you talk to us just about the thought process behind the parking being on the opposite side of the entrance?
Yeah, so really the discussion early on in the design, let me go back here. Early on in the design, we had parking off at North 8th Street. By the time we tried to fit 20 spaces in there, we were taking a huge chunk of that northern park. A big chunk and really cutting into what we considered that recreational activity. So in lieu of building the parking lot and going with North 7th Street, I think that's probably my best picture. What you'll see is that we can still circulate. We still have people can be dropped off. And we felt that if people park on this side, we do have a trail system that kind of comes around that north side. So it's not too far to walk. And so that was kind of the concept of how to maximize the parking without impacting more parkland. Up in this area on that north side, where North 8th is, here again, my cursor is very, very slow. Right in here, that would have been all parking and we'd had to take out all the trees. And we just didn't feel we want to use this as a designated place, but also really have the opportunity to take a look at, can we bring other uses and recognition to the north side? Can we bring other recognition to the east side? Because we already have a tennis court there. We heard that pickleball is starting to become very, very popular. Can we, can we actually make something here that is more functional than just operating an aquatics facility 8 to 10 weeks out of the year? So the discussion about everything around North 7th is not only a parking lot, but can we, certain events have 3-on-3 basketball courts? Can we have certain events where we bring in food trucks and have concerts? So that was the focal point. The design was right around the aquatics facility, but the discussion got larger and saying, okay, this could be an area where you go each weekend, whether the pool is open or not, and kind of visit. So that was kind of the opportunity. That was the discussion. And I'll let you know, we've been meeting every week with the design crews, landscape architects, and we've hashed several versions out, trying to churn it down into what you see today.
Yeah, I like the idea of all the parking on Seventh. That's really great. I think that's good and I understand that. Were there any preliminary drawings of flipping the design so that the entrance was on the Seventh Street side and you just flip the design?
Well, the design, my understanding, the design and the layout of of the building and where it was at, it was really how the sun opens and sunsets and making sure that you have that full view. And then also, yeah, I don't know. I just think it's always been kind of put onto North Eighth. We had some discussion about putting it back on Cedar Street, but that really hampers that setting. And then when you come in and take a look at it, when you drive up front around the corner, you have that view. Good questions. So really renderings here, kind of seeing from different angles. This right here is the entranceway. So if I'm standing next to North Eighth, this is where you actually go into the facility, but we wanted to kind of create an area where people can still kind of gather outside the pool area. We're right now talking about placement. We have a lot of boulders in Cheney, don't get me wrong. We have a stockpile of boulders. So this natural xeriscape is perfect with this cozy cabin feel. Because we're actually talking about taking a lot of these boulders and making them kind of seating areas around the area and combining with lawn and kind of having that feel along with that xeriscape plan. So this is kind of looking from North Eighth, kind of the north side of it, looking into the community centers on the left. And then there's a doorway that kind of goes out. That's where you would go, pay your admission and head into the pool, head over the locker rooms and go from there. It's looking kind of towards North Eighth and Cedar, different view of what you would look at. Kind of cool rendition. Kind of take a look at North Eighth and look out towards North Seventh. This is rendition. This is our future staff. We just kind of put them in places and their customers to that end. I thought this was kind of cool. Since it is a cozy cabin feel and you think about fireplace and everything else, look at the design underneath the counter. It is basically looks like you're stacking wood underneath there. You know, just kind of that feel. This is a community room. We felt that the community room, in talking with other aquatics facilities, birthday parties are probably scheduled a lot when they're open. The amenities and then the design of this community room, if the pool is closed, we have access to lock outside the aquatics facility, but yet you could still maybe utilize that community room for a park function during the off season. It is 500 square feet. So really the decision point why we're here tonight is that we did a lot of research on stainless steel or concrete pool. We visited quite a few facilities. We talked to a lot of the maintenance people trying to get a concept of what we're looking at. Murtha Pool is a stainless steel manufacturer. Basically, when I talk about stainless steel, this is a product that is basically with the design, it is built, you know, pretty much in a controlled facility. They build it in sections. They ship it out on site. We bolt it together. The stainless steel has a PVC welding on the outside of the pool. There really is no painting of the pool anymore. It's a solid PVC. The seams that are kind of PVC welded in place. And what we liked about it is that Murtha is a pretty big operation. There's thousands of these pools all around the United States, all around the world. And they do have warranties, 25-year, 10-year warranties. Something that we won't get from a concrete pool. We would maybe get a standard 2-year warranty. And it just seems to be everything we were talking about, everything we were visiting seems to indicate what a Murtha pool would be. So I have kind of what we came up with, some takeaways, what we found to be why we're kind of leaning towards a Murtha. You know, higher up front, material costs. We have the comparisons on the two tanks compared to concrete. But also the labor costs. You know, painting a pool, a concrete pool every year or every 2 years, pretty much labor intensive. Bertha pool, we sleep, you know, we can sweep it, we can power wash it, no product in there except for just a little bit of labor. The quality control, what I hear is that, and being experienced with our concrete pool, you paint the pool and after a while, that water and that paint is gonna look dull. And in fact, when you have paint that gets air underneath it, we start chipping that paint throughout the year and it just looks dull. PVC pipe makes it look really crystal clear with a good quality water and everything else. That was one of the comments. Yeah, it will reduce our annual labor costs. Yeah, again, burden with staff and which better product reduce life of O&M costs. And basically what we're coming up with in long-term, Bertha pool, stainless steel pools, and really the warranty and the backup that we've heard that what this company does.
Real quickly, Councilmember Peel, I have a question.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
I'm sorry.
Jackie, go ahead.
Oh, you're all good. Wanted to go back to the parking situation real quick. I know we talked about the distance people are gonna have to move. Do we have more accessible parking closer to the entrance for elderly, disabled, families with small children, that sort of stuff?
Yeah.
I might have missed it if we talked about it, sorry.
No, that, we didn't discuss ADA. We have, 2 spaces on North 7th Street right near the trailhead. And we have discussion about putting 2 right next to north of the drop-off area for that. And
Perfect,
with-
thank you for addressing.
Yep. So I just kind of took a stab, just in talking with constructability on stainless and concrete pools, talking to some, NAC and some of the contractors. This is some of our concerns, stainless pool. Now, and when I put QC there, that's mean quality control. So the manufactured pool is at the company. It's built at the company in environmental control. To me, that's quality control. Pool is shipped to site, ready to assemble. So, this can be sitting there and when they're ready to assemble, they can put it in place. I have some videos I'll show you. They actually build Olympic swimming pools just within a couple days. They have enough staff to put them in stadiums and build this Bertha pool for these events, and then they break them down afterwards and they go. So what really is sparked our interest is that the assembly is probably about 4 to 6. It's everything and it's a bolt together, and basically it's ready to be assembled. Certified steel pool contractors, we do have them in the area. There's a handful of them. That's a quality control concern for me. And then also, nothing beats that certified manufacturer representative inspection at the time that they do that for our warranty, which is basically 10-year on the floor and a 25-year on the wall. And keep in mind, when I say 10-year, 25-year, these are pretty much pools that are operated all year round. We're only operating 10, pretty much 10 weeks out of the year. So I think we have a little bit longer lifetime as we take a look at that. Concrete construction, on-site, outdoors could be kind of a concern with our weather environment. Experience, we have a lot of concrete companies out here. There could be a concern if they actually constructed pools, and especially when we get into a lazy river, when we have all these designs in a tank. It'll require more outside construction labor, form setting, pouring, curing of the concrete. When you break down those forms, hopefully we got a good, nice product on the wall, concrete finishing, joints. And I tell you right now, we'll probably have cracks in it. Eventually, we will have cracks on the first start or whatever. So those all would be sealed and had to be painted. Adverse weather conditions during construction. Quality control depends on when they start that pool, when they start that floor, and the timeline. So if we get into, I don't know, a forecaster, but if we get into a winter and we're not there and we have to wait till March or April to build the pool and with the cure time, those are some of the concerns that we have. So that's that. Yeah. So, material cost comparison. So the material on concrete, we're getting estimated for a competition pool. It's a little bit more expensive than what a stainless steel pool would be. And that's basically a savings of about 150,000. The leisure pool is a little bit more expensive. The stainless steel pool is about 332. So overall combined, we would spend about 186,000 over 10, 20, 25 year. The recouping cost on that, we could, with labor and paint and all of that, we could basically recover that. All right, earthen pools. I'm gonna do a YouTube video. I hope this transfers through, but let us know if it doesn't. There's really short videos on the pool installation process, so you understand how it works. I'm gonna try it. Hopefully this works. If not, we'll go back to the PowerPoint presentation. I don't think it's working, is it? Can I just sync? Oh, I don't know. No, thanks. I'm not an IT person here. That's not showing. I don't think it could be. Stop share. Okay. So here's the video. Let me see if I can full size it here. So it goes down on a pad. We can adjust the bottom just by adjusting those bottom parts, and the walls go in. The structure goes along behind. Backfill up against the back side of it. If you have some socket wrenches, you could probably volunteer, but it's probably.
I was gonna say, even I could do this.
Yeah. Only a minute or so video, but it seems really long. That's how they kind of push it in place and form. One thing about the Murtha pools, these are very lightweight pools, so you see a lot of these pools in hotels on rooftops and everything else just because of the design structure. So, water, yeah.
That's not cheating.
Yeah. I'm gonna stop share this, and then I'm gonna try to open up this other one and see what I can do here. Apologize on this. I'm trying to sync it up so people can see it. There we go. This is a 30-second video, but this is actually in a Coliseum where they put in an Olympic size a lap pool. So let me just go ahead and play it. I don't know if we'll get workers working this fast, but kind of gives you the idea of how they set up the walls, how they lay out the pad, and how they build the stage to the back of it. They had a lot of coffee. They actually can do this in a couple weeks' time and bring everything in. Yeah.
When they break it all down and
They chip it out.
ship it out.
It's almost like a hockey, basketball and what's more. Yeah. So anyway,
Hey Todd, I have a question.
Yeah.
Really quick on the stainless steel pool.
Uh-huh.
I think, I mean, it sounds like a great choice. I'm just curious, it has a 25-year warranty. What happens? Like, do you have to get a whole new pool at that point? Like, I know you said you'd recoup some of the costs for 25 years, but what does it look like?
I think the warranty, they probably wouldn't replace the pool if it was in such a bad shape, but the PVC can actually be molded or what they call welded. It's kind of like the same technology like in gas pipe. When they put gas pipe joints together, they're able to weld that together. And as long as we don't, if we'd have a really good maintenance program and keep it clean, I wouldn't see that would last beyond the 25 years. They just don't warranty it beyond that. In talking with some of the other pool facilities, Mirtha has always warranted it. And even when they had a problem with the constructability of it, they always seem to do their fair share, at least meeting these pools halfway through. So,
Okay. And then,
What will most likely be replaced is the actual liner itself, rather than steel. That's what tends to go before steel.
Yeah.
And again, maintenance is critical. As you talk to, all these various sites around, they said, if you stay on top of your maintenance program, you can extend the life of these things.
so then once we're past warranty and, things need to be replaced, it would most likely be the liner, which would be significantly less. Like the steel is a lot of what we're paying for. Yeah. Okay.
And what's the average lifespan of the Mirtha?
Well, I don't know what the average is, but they've had some of these, like, we started over in Europe, their some have been in place for 50 years. The ones we looked at around here, I think were, some of them were at least 15 years old, and it's still going strong, so.
yeah, there was really never a problem with the, with the walls itself that with the stainless steel, it's more or less when you roll out the floor gets a lot of walking on, a lot of things to that end. So one thing about the floor, it acts like in the recreational side, it won't be in the lap pool because it's a deeper pool, but they actually put like a padding underneath. So when you're walking in Lazy River, you're walking in the zero entry, it almost feels like a carpet fill and not like a concrete.
And the first way to prepare sort of on a temporary basis, like if heaven forbid somebody throws a chair or something in the pool and scuffs the liner, they can actually, they have a way, a certified, repair person can come in, kind of drop a contraption in, we can take the water down and they can just repair it right on the spot and get us back open, very quick. So that's another benefit.
And how long did our concrete pool last?
57 years or something.
And here again, I compare that 57 because it was only open, 8 to 10 weeks out of the year, and same with this pool. So it's not going to get that bathing load 365 days a week like an indoor facility or something like that. So Mirtha Pool, headquarters in Italy. You get happy to send me to Italy. I can become a Mirtha Pool
I'll go with
certified, but that might be part of the deal. Pre-engineered modular pool system, you've seen in the video, laminated stainless steel panels with the PVC, waterproofing bonding with the PVC material. And basically it's hot laminated. And so I apologize. I did have a sample for you. I'll try to get you, but it is a pretty steady. If you have an irrigation, a white PVC irrigation line, you know what that looks like. If you take that steel plate and you would mold that white hard PVC onto that steel, that's what you kind of get with the Mirtha. Obviously, you've seen it, pool walls are bolted together. Joints are sealed. With the pool structure, we would recommend that goes on to a concrete slab for that, making those adjustments. And then the side supports would be kind of supported with backfill of more or less a pea gravel buffer. And what's nice about this is that when talking to Mirtha, and we do have a meeting with them again here this next week, their time is about 150 days from the order to delivery. 10-year warranty on the PVC like floor liner, and then the pool structure is 25-year. Basically, it is, the water, surface water, it's pretty resilient, to anything that we can throw at the water. Important to have, a really good conditioned water. That was one of the things coming out of the maintenance, to that end. And that's why we made some adjustments to our product, instead of muriatic acid, basically using a carbon dioxide and again, carbon monoxide or carbon dioxide and some of the filtration methods in there. This is our chance to really kind of have a really good, clean, well-run pool. I mean, when we put something in the ground, we want to make sure that we maintain it. Obviously reduce installation time, no painting. Basically you get in there and you would probably just pressure wash it. One of the recommendations, since we do have high groundwater, is to keep this pool somewhat filled during the winter time, just for the hydraulic side of it. But being a pool that is run seasonal, draining it down, maintaining it, seems to be perfect, what we're looking at. Some of the struggles with the indoor pools where they're open 365 days a week, to take down a pool all the way and repair it. And everybody wants in that pool, that's a struggle for them. So they really tout a really good maintenance program. But even the best facilities will take their pool down once a year for inspection, whether it's a tub or not, where we have the availability to bring it down in the spring, get it all prepped back up. Basically, option, we talked about this. I'm always trying to save money, where we could actually, the city has an option to have an agency supply material and order it. Maybe for a cost reduction, we're looking at that right now. But if I had concerns above that 150 days, whether we would want to get this thing ordered to guarantee that it's in enough to assemble it. So there's some. So, really, these are the facilities that we visited, the Croc Center in Coeur d'Alene, North Spokane YMCA, City of Pasco. That one has an outdoor facility. Idaho Central Aquatics Facility has an indoor. City of Walla Walla has an outdoor, and City of Othello has an outdoor. Really the takeaway, quality construction oversight, very important if you've had a bad experience, because when they went out to bid, contractors really weren't certified and they didn't know how to put this thing together, and they struggled. Mertha backed them up anyway, which was good. Maintenance program, I can tell you that if we have a very passionate person about maintenance, it's going to be ran very, very well. Mike at the Croc Center, Coeur d'Alene, was one of those guys that you just have him on speed dial, because he's very passionate about it. And so I think that really the takeaway is that having a sound maintenance program to that end. Local Mertha certified technicians. So when something happens and we need it, we have a certified technician roaming around the area that can actually do the repairs, or whatever. We call Mike. They sent him into Italy, so he can probably come out and repair the pools. And the big thing was the warranty. The warranty was probably one of the biggest things that we would really like to take it. That was a big thing. So you're going to have to refer probably to your back sheet here. I can't get to that end. So as of February 12th, how the new construction cost? The new construction cost, we're looking at about 9.3 million. And then all the amenities that we identified as a high priority in the study was right around 543,000. A large portion of that is that big flume, or the slide that we're looking at, that structure on the pool site. The alternatives that we are looking at is a second flume. We can price that out, and we have what we call a mini engine. This is real popular, where you actually put it over the recreational pool side of it, and you can actually do crossings over the pool and do all sorts of things. And then when you want to drop, you just kind of drop in the pool. Whether we can afford that or not, my recommendation is to put the base structure in the concrete. And if we ever wanted to have it in the future, we couldn't afford it. Put some of these anchors in right now, and then we can purchase those in the future. But we looked at a metal roof alternative. You know, so we do have these alternatives. UV treatment system, that one's pretty good in an indoor facility, but even with UV in an outdoor, it's really not, but it would be nice. So really with the contingencies, and what they're saying is as we get into second quarter and as we get closer to the construction costs, they kind of built in that contingency with sales tax. We're looking right around 11 million, and then you add in all of our other items that we had. A&E, that's design and construction, that's a current contract that we have. Some of the reimbursable other project related, we already added in the demolition, some of the site work that we have done, the geotech, we added in our permit fees, both with the city and also the permit fees with Spokane Regional Health or DOH. And then special inspections, obviously, we're gonna have to have special inspections. That would probably be a third party independent to that end. So we looked at a change order or basically a contingency fee of 400,000 with tax and everything as we see it now. We do have a remaining balance of about 135,000. So when you put a 5% contingency on this project of this magnitude, it comes in about 650,000. So that's pretty close where we're kind of lining up right now. With that,
Yeah.
be happy to answer questions.
And just a note, this is great for discussion. Remember, we're only not even 50% design complete, so we have a lot of work to do going forward to get this thing to 100%, which is why we want to bring it to you, get feedback from council. So any talk?
Really tonight, what I'm trying to recommend is I like the stainless steel. I think that's a good move.
Todd, this,
Go ahead.
yeah, this is a very pro stainless steel slide deck here. So devil's advocate, what would be the argument against it?
What would be the argument against it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a good
I don't know. I mean, this is in kind of taking a look at it. If I didn't have any information, I was more partial to concrete because just of the structure. But I've been involved, you know, for the past 20, 30 years of maintaining the existing, even though it's old. I've seen the labor that goes into an old pool. I've sandblasted 20 years of paint off of that pool and painted. And what happens is as the pool gets old, it develops these little pinholes. And it doesn't matter, you could paint it, you know, and it looks great. And once you fill it, that water gets behind it. And all of a sudden you look at the wall, and everything else. So it is a maintenance issue. Will concrete last years? I mean, obviously we have a 50+ year pool that was concrete, that was in pretty good shape. Unfortunately, all the infrastructure around it just kind of faded out. So yeah, I do like this. It just seems to be a simple, you know, put together, like a controlled environment. When you talk about design work and when you talk about lazy rivers, you have a lot of curves, you have a lot of everything in there. Probably pretty easy to design it with a stainless steel manufacturer to be able to bolt it together. If I had to do that with the trowel and concrete, it could get a little rough. Yeah. So that's, yeah.
So you have no,
I don't really, you know, if you said, nope, concrete, you know, we would go with it, but I'm just trying to voice my concern.
I could hear someone criticizing us for not buying products made in USA.
You do have a company out of Florida, if that's it.
I think that's true. One of the ways we could combat that is Councilmember Overhauser volunteered to go to Italy and just take a second look at that. And then we could have somebody who's on the council.
I don't think there's a law right now preventing us from
No.
buying outside.
No, if we have a certain funding.
So that would be the only thing I could think of it, other than it being unique and new. But
You're thinking I find it so beautiful there, I'd stay, aren't you?
at the last park board meeting, Todd, I think, was that at Public Works? I can't remember now. We did have a section with the stainless steel.
Yeah, and I apologize, it's in.
I was impressed. I mean,
Yeah.
if you've been around when they sandblast the dang pool, a concrete one, and then you're at the whim of the weather and the manufacturer of the, if you go to expensive epoxy, blah, 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 you're doing it what, every couple of years.
Yeah.
So
Intense.
environmentally, I think this makes a lot more sense. From my own viewpoint, when we've talked about it, I'm not in favor of the city intervening in buying and supplying. I'd rather have that all contracted. So we got such a tight timeline, you just, but I think right now, again, at the last park board, we went through the budget, and if you look on the right side, if you had to, I would prioritize the tank and the filtration system and the mechanical system and the building components, so that it's as maintenance free as it can be. And then if we're pushed on the budget, you look at the amenities that we could add them later. It'd be more expensive, but you find that operation and maintenance costs are much harder to come by in the future years, as opposed to the capital that we can get to fund this. But it looks like, unless we get bids are out of line, that we should be in pretty good shape. And I know I get the park board, they've voiced approval of doing it big and right now with low maintenance components, and hoping for the best on the bids.
So what I'm hearing early on, and I know that it's maybe not early on because we are going out to bid in pretty much May. That's not too far down the road, is that we're starting to get a lot of looks from some contractors. We have, I think, 2 or 3 Mirtha contractors in the area that are still taking a hard look at it. So I'm hoping that this will be very competitive, and I always like it when my engineer and architect are on the high end and they beat the estimate. So hopefully they will do that.
Todd, remind me, are we heating the pool at all? Heating water a little bit? Is there a difference in temperature between concrete and the Mirtha pool? Like that we would have to heat it more, that would cost us more? Is there any difference there?
No, I think, I don't know. I mean, that's a good question. I don't know what
Okay.
would resonate more. I think the glare of the PVC may heat it up a little more than a concrete, but I have no idea.
Okay.
On that, but I know that through our operations, when we have a hot, dry summer, we don't really heat it up because it kind of stays that way. It heats up on its own. And it depends, do you want a real warm pool, or do you want a real cold pool? And the lap pool, depending on competition, you want a little cooler, so when they're in there swimming, they don't really heat up. On a hot day, you might want a little bit cooler amenity to that. I
And
took
there-
swimming lessons at the original pool. So I don't know temperature. I imagine now at my age it's pretty cool.
Thanks, Todd. Any other comments, questions for Todd? This is exciting. This is really, really exciting. Okay, if there's no more questions for Todd, let's move on to some action items here. Mark, resolution F221, that's the AFSCME labor agreement.
We're going for third time's the charm here. You had asked us to go back to the table to discuss the adoption of Juneteenth as a city holiday. And if we were to do that, then we would reduce the sort of automatic floating holidays by 1, but give them the opportunity to earn that holiday back by participating in wellness events, which, as we talked about before, are important to the city as we attempt every year to achieve our Well City Award, giving us the 2% discount on our medical premiums, which obviously is important to the city and to the employees, as it's money out of each of our pockets if we were not to achieve that award. So incentivizing them to take part and make sure that we reach those goals. In talking to the AFSCME negotiating team, they were amenable to making those changes that you had requested. And I think at the end of the day, everybody comes out of this feeling pretty good about where we are. So I thank you for the input. It's taken a little longer than it normally does, but I think we got to a good contract on both sides, and would certainly hope that you would pass this tonight. And I'll be happy to answer any questions anyone may have.
Thanks, Mark.
I have a couple
Any
questions.
comments?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yes,
I've
go
got a
ahead,
couple
Amy.
questions. Just in regards to, I know this is the union, correct, that we're dealing with?
Mhm.
But then there's the employees who are not unionized, but this will also
Yep.
affect, correct?
You'll see that when I talk about the salary ordinance tonight.
Oh, okay, so
Yeah,
maybe
so
jumping ahead.
more to
I-
come.
Okay, all right, I'll wait.
Good call. Okay, any questions? Go ahead.
So other than that change, Mark, nothing's changed from the last time
Yep.
we reviewed this.
Nope.
And I brought it up at finance. It may not be an issue where it's now February and when you look at the collective bargaining agreement, it goes in effect January 1. So I would assume if we make a motion to approve this, we should also include just a notation that hopefully the sides could reconcile retro payment back to January.
Yep.
So that if a auditor might get a little picky and wanna take issue with us for the month of January, so
We will certainly add that in.
that would be my only thought at this point in time.
And the contract does read January 1st, right?
Say that again.
It starts January.
But I think what
But it will-
Paul's trying to do is cover us by saying, hey, we've got it in writing, we've negotiated that it is gonna retro.
Oh, gotcha, gotcha. Good,
You know,
good.
without that, there could be an argument.
Yeah.
If there aren't any more.
Okay.
I would move for the approval of resolution F-221 with the added caveat of adding that both parties agree to retro pay back to January 1, 2024.
Second.
Wonderful. Motion a second for the passage of, or the approval of resolution F-221 with the addition of verbiage that talks about both sides retroactively paying to January 1st, 2024. Any final questions, comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you very much. Mark, F-221 passes.
Good work,
Yeah.
Mark.
Nice
Wanted,
work, yes.
we should come in, Mark. We sent him back.
We got it done.
We got it done. Yep. yeah.
There's still a little hide left on it. That's good.
Okay, resolution F-227, Reservoir One Roof Replacement Project Amendment number 1.
Yeah, this amendment pretty much amounts to about 311,000. And I want to refer back to the amendment one description where the Reservoir One replacement was for the aluminum lid, and it's about an 80 foot diameter structure that is pretty much fabricated, brought out here in pieces, and then a contractor assembles it with a crane, lifts it on to the reservoir. During that time, we needed to get going with this reservoir because of the basically the timeline to try to get this reservoir open. We were also working on the design. We had parametrics submit all of the data on our reservoir, and based on what the lid can support and our walls, come to find out that our top walls were only 8 inches and they needed to be a little wider. Went to the design, basically a collar around it, and it's on that second, it's called the roof radius cap and collar. So it's a poured in place with rebar to widen out that rim, so that would fit on there. I got a proposal back from TML, who was the contractor on it. It looked like it is high, but it's more labor, basically more labor driven because of the location and the round portion of it. That came in at 192,000. Had parametrics dive into it and agreed that it looks like it's a fair proposal. And so I'm kind of recommending that we move forward with the timeline on it to that end. The second portion of that would be the pipe demolition modification change order. These are items that really came up with the Department of Health because these are old reservoirs. We do have an undersized overflow to that end that needs to be tied in. And now we have an opportunity to not only take a look at the air gap between Reservoir One, Reservoir Two. We're going to modify that and combine both of them and get those upgraded to that end. So that second proposal, that's what we would have to do anyway. It includes, putting a new ladder in there. When we took the roof off and really took a good look at it, the ladder needed to be replaced. We need to drill into the bottom of the reservoir for, basically a drain. New valve systems, the valves are old. So that was that proposal. You know, that, to me, I mean, there's only 2 times in my history. One was around Pearson where I had to come back for a very high change order because we did hit asbestos in the ground and everywhere else. It was a disaster. This is another element, but you know, given the nature of what we're looking at, and taking a look at parametrics review of it, I think it's fair. As you recall, when we first did this, we had a recommendation for an engineer to design it and everything else, and I think it was over 2 million. They designed the roof. We came back with a proposal of a prefabricated, you know, aluminum roof. We also had the option to take a look at if this tank could last another 30, 50 years, or if it is in such bad repair that we may take a look at an option of replacing the reservoir in itself. And at that time, I was getting costs of about $4 per gallon. So this is a 1 million gallon reservoir, new reservoir comparable at $4. And that was a few years ago. I don't know if it's gone up, would be about 4 million. So, you know, my goal here is to get this reservoir up and running by June. Everything has been, we're in line to have the reservoir that being produced right now for about a mid-May delivery, so we can set it on the tank. So hopefully June to that end. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions. We kicked around even some options about doing force accounts, but there is some a little concern about that. They're proposing a lump sum, and so if they run into any problems, it's on them. Force account, we track everything, and if they overrun to that end, we owe them that money. Plus, I would have to put pretty much an engineer on site during that construction. That would be an extra dollar amount. So labor intensive documentation to that end. The other one would be if we were to just try to see, go out for bid. By the time I got this going, we would probably end up having a bid award in end of March. And by the time we got this constructed, we would be up against the lid insulation, maybe have some concerns to that end. One thing that is favorable, TML and the change order, by doing this foundation, by taking control of the lid, there is no second party or other contract that would be liable for one or the other. We're tying in the lid, we're tying in all the improvements to one contract. So with that, I'd be happy to answer the questions.
Thanks, Todd. Questions for Todd on this change order? It's getting a little pricey, but it has to happen. Vince?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Your Honor, we did discuss this in Public Works. It is an expensive fix, but we are committed to obviously getting the reservoir up and going and the roof replacement. You know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So.
We also discussed it at finance, and we also came up with, it is what it is.
And we need to get it done. So,
Yeah, for sure.
we did.
Built a Mirtha tank.
That's what I was just thinking. That's exactly what I was thinking.
So then the question is, how many gallons are a swimming pool holding?
Right.
We could use that for a tank in the winter. What do you say? I mean, yeah, we worked Todd over pretty good at Public Works a couple weeks ago, knowing that it's a dang specialty thing and that's just hard. And we're up against not having another 1 million gallons of storage. But when you got a roof that's made of, what was that, 8-inch slab or 10-inch?
No, it was 8-inch.
8-inch, when that's crumbling down on you, then. So yeah, we talked about, you know, a new tank altogether, and so we're at $1.22 versus $4. So we're hoping aluminum lid and some other niceties and upgrading it will buy us another 50 years.
That's the hope.
Yeah, so I don't know what else we can do. Had to do something.
Anything else for Todd?
Your Honor, if there's no further questions, I would make a motion to approve resolution F 227.
Second. Thank you. I have a motion and a second to approve resolution F 227 Reservoir Warren Roof Replacement Project Amendment number 1. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Gotcha. Thank you. No opposed. Thank you, Todd. Resolution F 227 passes. Resolution F 228. This is the UV copper copier lease agreement for the wastewater treatment plant, right?
Yeah, this is for not only the UB and also the wastewater treatment plant. Our copier leases are up and we're just renewing that lease agreement for 3 copiers, 1 copy machine on the wastewater treatment plant, 1 at the UB, and then we do have our basically our 36-inch copier that we use for plan reviews and all of that. So, not a little bit of an increase. I think it came out to, I can't remember the comparison, but like $60 a month.
90.
I'd be happy to answer.
Any questions for Todd on the lease agreement?
We've looked at these in the past. It's much more cost effective to lease these things than to try to
Maintain.
own and fix them. I'll make the motion to approve resolution F 228.
Second.
Thank you. I have a motion and a second to approve resolution F 228, the copier lease agreement. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Thanks, Todd. Resolution F 228 passes. Resolution F 229, Washington State Reference Network Agreement. Go ahead, Todd.
Yeah, WSRN, I guess, is a network. This is basically a cooperative agreement that allows us to pretty much use a more accurate GPS or global positioning system. We do our own GPS. We do have a GPS unit instead of hiring a surveyor or when we nail down things, we have employees trained to nail down every valve, even when we're in construction projects, we will take that unit out and kind of nail down all of our utilities. It's good. It complements all of our mapping systems, including our work order systems, and provides information. So we'd like to continue that support so we can get out there and nail down everything we have. So, with that, I'll be happy to answer.
Thanks, Todd. Any questions for Todd? Comments? No, pretty straightforward. Go ahead.
I had a question. Just as I read through it, I was trying to figure out what the pros and cons are because I thought we had our own GPS system too. So I was trying to figure out why we need to work with Seattle Public Utilities to do that if we have our own.
Well, the GPS unit is one thing, but it is serviced. We've went from waiting for satellites to line up to get a shot, which sometimes shots could take 5 to 11 minutes. So if I have a guy standing in front of there, we have tried Verizon wireless networks in coordination with on towers at EWU to get a little faster. So this is really the cooperative agreement we want. I mean, we have the system in place, we have the unit, but we want that fast service. It's kind of like that is what we're looking for.
Okay.
Thanks, Mark. Any other questions for Mark or for Todd? Pleasure.
Your Honor, if there are no more questions, I would move approval.
Second.
Thank you. I have a motion, a second to approve resolution F 229, Washington State Reference Network Agreement. All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you. And no opposed. Thanks, Todd. Resolution F 229 passes. Mr. Marks, resolution F 230, the 2024 line clearance contract award.
Evening, council. Yeah, I'm seeking approval or award of the 2024 line clearance contract. It's a contract for $100,000 for 2024. But also has the option of 3 additional 1-year renewals. Each renewal will be based upon a new rate sheet and wages submitted. And I'll bring to the council for approval, and this will incorporate the prevailing wage increases each year with this contract. If you remember, the background is 4 years ago, Asplin Tree Experts. We did the same contract. It was a $60,000 a year award. And we renewed it for 3 more years. So it was a nice 4-year contract with them. Very good working relationship. I went out for a bid. I had 2 responsive bidders. Asplin Tree Experts once again bid, and then also Big Sky Limited out of Post Falls, Idaho. Asplin was the lowest bidder. Big Sky was 2.5 times their rate, which was pretty astonishing. Their bid was at $10,864.56 a week, which will buy me 9 straight weeks with $100,000. Great working relationship with Asplund. I have no reservation of recommend them to the council for approval. Great crew. I think we'll get the same crew back this year. And we're very pleased with what they've done. So having said that, I recommend to the council award to Asplund the $100,000 contract grant.
Thanks, Steve.
Any questions?
Any questions for Steve on this contract?
Your Honor, this has been a subject at the Public Works Committee meeting and it's money well spent.
Yes.
Except I won't ask you not to have outages the next council meeting. I know this helps in that regard.
I'll move for approval.
Second.
I was moving for approval too.
Okay, got a motion and a second to approve resolution F230, our 2024 line clearance contract award. All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you, Steve. Resolution F230 passes.
Thank you.
And finally, our salary ordinance, Mark, and we're looking for all 3 readings and.
Yes, we are. Thank you, Mayor. Now that you have passed the ASME contract, we have made the adjustments to the 2024 salary ordinance. And I will call to your attention, to Danielle's comments earlier, attachment A, we've actually amended as well, and this covers, our non-represented employees. We are using the same language from the ASME contract and applying it to all the rest of the non-represented employees regarding the floating holidays. So I'm one of them, we're gonna have to earn, our second floating holiday through participation in the wellness program. So just making it consistent between the represented group and the non-reps. We will be working this through the other labor contracts as they come up. So I've already started to kind of put the word out there that this is coming. So be ready for it when we sit down at the table. So this is just kind of the first step of the process of getting everybody under the same parameters here. So if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. But with that, I would ask for all 3 readings and approval.
So Terry's just gonna walk around to the non-contract people's office throughout the day and say, drop and give me 20.
She might.
Yeah,
I,
Good.
knowing her, she might.
yeah,
She
I'm
absolutely
surprised she
might.
hasn't already.
Maybe I have.
Yeah. This should make Carrie's life a little bit easier, to be
Yeah,
honest,
that's-
as we get better participation, since there's a little carrot out there,
Yeah.
folks to participate.
Sure.
Well,
So I did have a couple
Go ahead.
questions about this portion of it.
Mhm.
One is, it looked like or I've heard that it sounds like there's gonna be requirements to come in on days off.
Not necessarily, no.
Okay.
No, we have planned activities out that majority of these, they can achieve during work time, to get to their 350 points, to earn the floating holiday. There are things they could do on their off time.
Mhm.
Things like going to the doctor can actually get you points toward this, which is something you would do anyways. It's just about kind of tracking it, but we have enough activities planned to where people can achieve, their floating holiday without, using their personal time, I'll say, to
Okay,
get
I
there.
just wanted to verify that again.
Yep.
And then, my other question was, for people who are not covered by city insurance.
Mhm.
They're still able to participate?
Yes, so they will have to attend more wellness activities rather than just, doing some of the other things that like watching the videos and getting the point values for those things.
But they still will not have to sacrifice time off in order to do so?
Right.
Okay, and then just out of curiosity, does that save the city money as far as if they're not already on, like using city insurance?
Well, certainly.
Okay.
There's a law in Washington says everybody has to be covered, basically. Some people are on their spouse's coverage, some people other sources and things. So yeah, we in fact would save money because we're not paying our part of the premium. They're not paying, their part. So yeah. And we only have a handful of people that are not on city insurance.
Good questions. Anything else?
Well,
Go ahead, Paul.
again, it's not mandatory. They don't have to participate in wellness if they wish not to.
Mhm.
But you don't earn the day off then either.
Yeah.
So push comes to shove, it's a day, but.
Your choice.
Thanks.
If there are no more questions, I would move for the first reading of ordinance Y 59 and first be considered the second be considered the third and be placed before us for final passage.
Second.
Thank you. Thank you. I have a motion, a second for the first reading of ordinance Y 59, the 2024 salary ordinance. And the first be considered the second and third readings in title and summary form only, and that it be placed before you all for final passage. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carry.
Ordinance Y 59, an ordinance fixing the salaries and compensation for appointed officers and employees of the city of Cheney, fixing the effective date thereof, repealing ordinance Y 55, and providing for the effective date.
Thank you, Carrie. Councilmember Oberhauser.
Aye.
Councilmember Schmidt.
Aye.
Councilmember Bartels.
Aye.
Councilmember Bealock.
Aye.
Councilmember Nazaro. Councilmember Labar.
Aye.
And Councilmember Postuma. Thank you. Ordinance Y 59 passes. Thanks, Mark. That concludes our action items. Do we have any staff reports?
I have two very quick ones. First, first of all, I would like to formally welcome Mike Capon. He did enter the transfer portal. City of Cheney. Mike's been representing, us, for a long time, for several years now, through a contract with, his former law firm, but we were able to bring him over to the city, for full-time employment, and everybody's happy Mike's here, and everybody's already loading him up with work to be done in legal review. So we're very happy, to have Mike on staff with us now. And my second one on a little.
Did we move to close the portal?
We're gonna do everything we
Okay,
can.
Thank you.
We're hoping for some, maybe some regulations here that might scale this back a little. My second one is simply just to get out and support your Eastern sports. Men's and women's basketball, just doing extremely well in the Big Sky this year, and that crowd support just kind of brings it home. So get out and support your Eagles. That's it.
Thanks, Mark. For my report, so it is very important that the city of Cheney is represented on the regional stage. So I wanted, and we do represent several committees and boards, but I wanted to thank Councilmember Labar for chairing the Lodging Tax Committee, and Councilmember Nazaro for being on the Housing and Urban Development Committee, and Councilmember Bealock for agreeing to represent Cheney on the Opioid Abatement Council. So thank you so much. I appreciate that you stepped up, and now I think we're all on some kind of a board or committee on the regional stage, because it's good to keep Cheney at the table. So thank you so much. I appreciate that. And again, welcome to Mike. Come on. Council reports, Teresa.
I have got nothing.
Oh, anything for you?
Well, almost nothing. Public Works Committee, we're meeting at 7 a.m. And Thursday morning at the UB. Shoot, someone's bringing donuts. I couldn't remember whose turn. I'm sure they'll be
I
there.
think I have to do it this time.
That's all I have. Thank
Okay,
you.
thanks, Paul. Vince?
I attended the planning commission meeting yesterday. They went over their work plan for 2024. We'll be looking at the CIP, capital improvement program. We'll be looking at a park update. Couple updates, I think, working with Mike, just kind of clean up some code, and then working towards the comprehensive plan updates, which will probably span over the next couple of years. So that's what I have to report.
Thanks, Vince. Jackie, anything?
Yeah. So it's been brought to my attention that the process, speaking of commissions, for appointing commissioners isn't very transparent to the community. So I was wondering, can we host a community workshop to inform the community on the process of appointment and confirmation, just like as an informal or informational sort of workshop for people?
For our planning commission, historic preservation, park board, that sort of thing?
Yeah, all the different commissions, because I know in my recent utility bill, it listed a couple vacancies. And we've also had some constituents reach out about some different committees or commissions. And so I was just wondering if we could have a community workshop that we advertised that educated people on how these things work, and maybe also other aspects of our local city government.
Yeah, Jackie, I can talk to you about that for sure.
Thank you. Other than that, the commute reduction awards was fantastic, and hopefully I'll feel better and be there in a couple weeks.
Thanks, Jackie. Jason?
To Mark's point, Eastern men's and women's basketball, very fun to watch, so get out there and watch.
I do not have anything.
Okay, thanks, Daniel. Sorry, Mark.
Nothing for me either.
Okay. Well, that concludes our meeting. Unless there's any words of wisdom.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Aye.